One thing that sparked some interest online, we had George Kamel on the pod. George Kamel thinks that we need to make $6,000 per month in order to support a family of 4.
Oh, that's low.
So in 2026, how much does someone need to retire with a family of 4?
$8 to $10 million in assets, whether it's real estate, stocks. I think anything lower than that, if you said 40 years old, you're going to run out.
And why 8 to 10? Like, what's the math?
If the traditional financial advice is retire with $4 million, what happens when we have a 50% market downturn? So I'd rather be at 8 and then be at the 4 after the market downturn.
It is so funny. We had this
I don't disagree. I do not disagree.
Exact conversation. Exact. I'm just going to say it. Jack said he wouldn't be working, or he would work for fun once he has 10 million.
Okay.
And I said, well, when you're at 10, you're going to want 20 because of 50% market downturn. I'll take you down to 10, so you need a buffer.
Yeah.
You got to have the buffer. I'm like, it's when you really start looking at it, like the 3, because really I see $10 million is $300,000.
But the reality is that 99% of people don't have that amount of money, and they're getting along just fine. Well, a lot of people are getting along just fine with less than that. And so, like, why would I need to have, sterling silver silverware? I don't need it. I don't need to have like all of the nice
people
things.
With 10 million don't have sterling silver silverware.
Well, at least now they don't. Inflation. Yeah. There's the rich laugh. There it is again. There it is.
It depends on your lifestyle too. Some people are happy playing World of Warcraft and Rust all day long, and they don't need a lot of money. You can play video games. You can crash in a small apartment, and you can survive on way less money. My dad doesn't survive on a lot of money. I mean, he fortunately lives rent free. I bought him a house to live in, but beyond that, he budgets to save up, and he's happy. Oh, now I'm going to save this month so I can invest in this or buy this or whatever, and he seems very happy. He's got a dog. He's happy. He's got family nearby. Right? He doesn't seem like he needs more. Some people want to retire and they want to travel a bunch. I think what a lot of people underestimate is when they retire, a main source of your sort of busyness goes away, and you got to find a way to be entertained. So typically people are like, oh yeah, when I retire, I'm going to spend less. The reality is you're probably going to spend more. So that's why I would encourage people to try to retire with more money rather than less.
It's true. If you have more time, you're going to be spending more money. It's so funny because everyone thinks as you start your own business, you start making a bunch of money, then you're going to be cashing out all the time. But the reality is, if you're working 12 hours a day, you're not going to be spending a bunch of money. You have no time. You're so tired by the end of the workday.
Can't even go to dinner.
Go out. Yeah. Which is absolutely true.
Just keep reinvesting into the business.
Yeah, when you're bored, you tend to spend a lot of money. Like, I find that the days where I'm not busy, like nothing planned on the weekend, I start scrolling heritage auctions.
There you go.
I start seeing what's going on. I throw a few bids.
Yeah.
Because you never know what might hit.
Yep.
And then I check carsandbids.com just in case there's a good deal. And then I check Bring a Trailer. And then I browse eBay. I'm just trying to find like deals. But every now and then I get a deal. Like the other day, I bought these Nightmare Before Christmas animation cells from the movie, like the originals.
Wow.
And I was like, oh man, I need this.
Yeah.
So I bought them.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
so I
I had
got a whole
Nightmare
wall
Before Christmas bobbleheads when I was a kid. So
Oh,
I think
the
that's really cool.
bobbleheads.
Yeah. Jack.
What I'm curious about is, you said 8 to 10 million. To a lot of people, that sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
You would say that that's probably that final tier that is worth striving to. And then after that, you see a strong diminish of returns in terms of amount of effort that you put into working and then the money that you get back. You'd say that's about where the dollar starts to diminish in terms of value?
It might even diminish before that. A lot of that 8 to 10 is just hedging for market fluctuations. I'm a big fan of like stay out of margin debt or just debt in general. But again, it comes down to your lifestyle. I mean, when I was flying my own jet around, 8 to 10 goes really fast in expenses. So it depends on your lifestyle. And I think 8 to 10 is a great target. The problem is, a few sentences ago, you mentioned that a lot of people are doing just fine on way less, but I think 70 to 80% of Americans are paycheck to paycheck. So, I mean, yes, could they be fine? Yeah, we're surviving, but are we thriving? And then the question is, where do you want to be?
Over 50% of the people that went to Coachella did it on credit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, the buy now, pay later stuff honestly probably helped us avoid a recession. Like the amount of spending that was enabled by BNPL.
Did it avoid or just deferred?
Probably delayed, right?
Yeah,
probably.
because that's going to come due at some point.
100%. That'll be part of sort of that next, recession. Whatever causes it, that'll be part of it. Because, I mean, what's crazy to me is there's so much talk about how AI, everybody's spending money on AI. Gemini just 2 days ago had to come out with BNPL, Affirm and Klarna, now available so you can pay your stupid $24 a month or whatever to Gemini.
But that boosts conversions. I saw like 40%.
Of course. Oh, it definitely boosts
pay
conversions. No, it makes sense. But it does make me wonder, is it boosting conversions on that because people wouldn't get it otherwise? And then is that because they don't have the money? So that's the question.
It's $25 a month is.
I mean, it's like
not a
another
good
Netflix.
sign.
It's another Netflix subscription, So, I mean, then you get Disney Plus. It does all add up. YouTube Plus.
So what do you think is the ideal amount of money to have?
I'm not a big fan of thinking retirement-wise. I like to think, can you get to a lifestyle where your salary covers all of your expenses and your bills? So let's say you're an entrepreneur and you're able to make $200,000 or $300,000, but your entire family can live on 10 grand a month. So that's $120,000. Whatever extra you make, you should immediately pay yourself a $120,000 salary to pay your bills, to cover all that net of taxes, and then invest the rest. Just pretend you don't have the other growth. Like, I'll put myself in these shoes. I would, in the place that I feel like I'm in, is whatever money I make from stocks or investments or house hack or whatever, that's all bonus. Any living expenses that we have for school, insurance, kids, 7 children, cars, car insurance, whatever, should be covered by my salary for running Reinvest. And it is. So for me, I'm very happy because I look at it as, okay, I don't need a single dollar more than that. And that's why I started early in the podcast by saying it's hard not to be happy right now because all bills are covered. There's nothing to worry about.
How much do you spend a year as a family of 9?
It's hard to say because the numbers fluctuate a lot because all of the children just started going to school in February. So our expenses on home care has plummeted. We had night care specialists for like summer who almost died, and we had help 24/7 for the first year of their lives. Those expenses were insane because we're not just paying for help, we're paying for specialized help.
How much was that?
Probably north of 800 grand just for a year, in payroll expenses or contractor
Whoa.
expenses, right? So that's a lot. Now, that said, it's come down massively. And so I honestly think if we spend, just for travel or giggles or whatever, the family might spend, I don't know, 8 on average a month, maybe with food, it probably comes to 10, 120. And then add to that just other living expenses. We probably live on a $250,000 salary.
Without a mortgage.
Correct. No mortgage.
If you have a cat, you know that keeping them healthy is a non-negotiable. And a big part of that really just comes down to diet. By choosing a quality cat food, you're buying more time with your cat and giving them a happier, healthier life.
That's exactly why we are so excited to partner with Smalls. Smalls is fresh, human-grade cat food that does so much more than just feed your cat. It helps them live a full, healthy life.
Not only is Smalls healthier for your cat, but it also noticeably improves their energy. In fact, 88% of cat parents say that after feeding Smalls, their cat is softer and shinier and has more energy to play.
Smalls recipes are over 80% protein, which helps your cat build the muscle they need, and they never use fillers or artificial ingredients.
Personally, I found that finding the right cat food is really difficult because in my case, I have one cat that will literally eat anything. Like, you leave any morsel of food on the table, it just will eat it. The other cat's extremely picky, but with Smalls, they both enjoy it. It's the perfect fix.
If you're ready to find your forever cat food, Smalls is perfect for you, and for a limited time, because you're an Iced Coffee Hour listener, you get 60% off your first order plus free shipping and free treats for life when you head to smalls.com/iced. That's 60% off your first order plus free shipping and free treats for life when you head to smalls.com/iced.
Thank you again to Smalls for sponsoring this podcast.